Okay, so here's a little short video to help you get started with today's assignment, Colossal Cylinders. If you look at the directions, it says find the designated surface area of each cylinder below. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So in terms of pi means that pi symbol is going to remain in our answers for questions 1, 2, and 3. So let's look at question number 1. The first thing we always want to do is we want to identify the base. We want to identify our bases. It's a cylinder, so our base is this circular top. And then, of course, you can imagine the base at the bottom, which is also a circular base. So if we know that our bases are on top and bottom in this orientation, could be the same thing if we turned it on its side. The circles are still the base. Now we need to find the height of this prism. And if you remember by definition of the height, it has to be the distance between the bases. So it has to connect the two bases. So in this example, the height is this distance right here, 5 centimeters. That's the height of our cylinder. Remember, the bases have to be on opposite sides. They have to be parallel and not touching. They're also congruent. Again, the height is the distance between the bases. Now, if you're unable to draw this shape, this cylinder on your paper, you could always just draw the circular base, put the measurement 6 centimeters, and then we know the height is equal to 5, the height of the prism. Excuse me, the cylinder. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to go to our formula chart. Our formula chart, when we look up surface area, we're looking for total surface area in this example. So the formula for total surface area of a cylinder, surface area equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. So 2 times pi times the radius times the height of the cylinder plus 2 times pi times radius squared. All right, so let's start substituting in. I don't know surface area. That's what I'm trying to find, so that variable stays. So now we need to multiply together 2 times pi times our radius, which they tell us is 6, times the height of our cylinder, which is 5. We're going to have to do all that, and then we will come over and we will add to it 2 times pi times radius squared, substituting in radius, which is 6 squared. Now I put these in parentheses because I have to do all of the first part and then all of the second part before I have to add. Remember, multiplication comes before addition in order of operations. So simplifying this a little bit further, I need to multiply just the numbers. I need to get this part in terms of pi. So 6 times 5 is 30. 30 times 2 is 60. So this is 60 pi. We're going to add to this. We're going to multiply 2 times 6 squared. 6 squared is 36 times 2, 72 pi. Now we need to simplify this even further, combine like terms. 60 plus 72 pi's gives me a total of 132 pi. And because we want our answer in terms of pi, we're done. We don't multiply this out. So the surface area, the total surface area, is 132 pi, and our units are centimeters, so centimeters squared, or square centimeters. All right, let's look at number 2 now. Number 2 is asking for lateral surface area. So we're going to start off with the same thing. We need to identify our bases and our height. Because it's a cylinder, we know our base is the circular ends. You can pretend that circle on the bottom as well. Those are our two bases. And our height, by definition, remember, the height connects the two bases. It is the distance between the two bases. That is our height. To show your work on your paper again, you could draw the circle, draw the base shape, its measurement. It gave us a radius of 3, the height equals 10. So this part is what I should see on your paper. If you're not comfortable drawing the whole picture, draw the base shape and label the height. All right, so now because it's lateral, we need to go look at our formula chart again and find that formula. Surface area is equal to 2 pi RH. That's the only part of that formula. So now we're ready to substitute in. There's no capital letters, so I don't have to go off and do any side calculations. I'm just going to substitute and solve. I don't know the surface area, so that variable stays. 2 times pi times the radius. Well, what is the radius in this problem? Yes, it is 3. So times 3 times the height of our cylinder, which is 10. We also labeled it here. So times 10. Simplify it in terms of pi. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 10 is 60. We're keeping pi in our answer because in terms of pi, we do not multiply this out. So my final answer, the lateral surface area, is 60 pi, and again, it's centimeters squared. So you'll do the same thing on number 3, looking for the total, leaving your answer in terms of pi. To continue on, for 4, 5, and 6, you're finding surface area. Again, they designate total or lateral, but they want your answer rounded to the nearest tenth. So make sure you're rounding to the nearest tenth, 1 decimal place. On the back, for problems number 7 through 10, they give you word problems. I would highly suggest drawing a picture if you can, or at least drawing that base shape and labeling the height like we did on the front. All right, hope that helps get you started, and feel free to watch this back if you need, and then your assignment is to complete the remaining problems.